Alternate universes. For when you want to spice things up a bit, or just really like a show or scenario and wonder how you or your characters would fare in it. I love drawing my characters or my friends in different AUs together. So obviously, my friend Canary and I challenged ourselves to draw 3 of each other's characters in alternate universes. We did a prep call that I was going to include and draw it in its entirety, but my YouTube Shorts coded brain is fighting for its life trying to draw something longer than 15 seconds, so here's a super edited version. I'm pretty sure I texted you earlier and it was like 3 AM for you and you still responded, so you can't really say much. I would.
I hate you so much. We both know what to do. We drawing each other's characters. You have your random wheel, I have my random wheel. We doing this together.
Yeah. And we're off. I numbered the characters Canary gave me in the order they were sent, and then I spun the wheel to decide what universes they go to. Now that I'm editing and doing the voiceover though, I was too impatient with how long the wheels took to land on something, so here's just the results. Canaries in Minecraft, Echoes in Apocalypse, Kanaras in Pokemon. In addition to just doing the AUs, I also wanted to incorporate one specific thing from each character into their AU, whether it be through design or story. I'll address what I chose for each person when they come up. For now, let's just get into the drawing. Alright, so Canary is up first. For them, I wanted to keep the yellow jacket of their persona's design, or at least a large amount of yellow. I had to choose what origin they would be first, so while I was debating between Elytrian or Avian for the Canary theme, I ultimately went with Endirian since it actually matches better with their story. This mostly goes off of their bio, psych major who fell into the void one day. Okay, so I'm not sure where I heard this theory from, but I like the idea that Endermen are the warped, distorted souls of players who could not escape the end or die to the void. Stripped of their identity, they wander aimlessly in search of who they are, which also explains their rage when they make eye contact with the player. They're reminded of what they once were and kind of fall into a confused frenzy. Minecraft Canary was not a born Endirian, but they were a normal human player instead. A mishap while fighting the Ender Dragon causes them to fall into the void, and while they managed to pull themselves out with an Ender Pearl, they did not get through unscathed. Their extremities, such as their hands and ears, grew sharpened and elongated, kind of mid-shift as their being started to distort. The void's corruption creeps up their left side, as though waiting to take control, and ends of their hair have darkened as a result. Their form appears mostly human other than that, but they do have an odd mix of abilities they discover after their recovery, which they have yet to fully understand. I tried to include some small details to draw back to the Minecraft theme, like the Ender Eye holding the cape together, and the netherite chestplate with the end stronghold trim. The tail was a detail I saw some people add to their Enderman character designs, and I just kinda thought it looked cute, but I don't really have a reason other than that. But there we go, first one down, next up is Echo. For Echo, I wanted to incorporate her old design's yellow circle on her chest somehow, as kind of homage to the first version of her I knew. Putting Echo in Apocalypse was interesting since the universe she's from already includes zombies as part of the plotline. Technically, I could have gone with a different kind of apocalypse like nuclear fallout or something, but I wanted to play off of her original storyline a bit and give it my own twist. So this version of her, originally named Sylvia, worked the graveyard shift at the cemetery with her friend and coworker Alexi. The initial outbreak of the zombie apocalypse began at the cemeteries, as some kind of mutation that seeped through the soil and affected the dead that were already buried. When the first ones emerged, Sylvia was asleep on the job, given it was late and prior to this nothing ever happened during their shift. She awoke to the sounds of fighting, but Alexi had already been bitten. She has been in this initial outbreak as well, however she's actually among a group of people who are partially immune, which while uncommon isn't notably rare either. So while some minor things like her left eye indicate the shift, she appears human aside from increased aggression and lower inhibition, and she escapes the graveyard alive due to this trait. The design choice for the eye was a continuation of the look of the zombies from our actual world, which was kind of a callback to that. As settlements and survivor groups form, they begin to collectively call these partially immune people echoes, people who aren't fully gone but they aren't all there either, just an echo of who they once were. These people are incorporated into settlements since echoes aren't contagious, but they are treated as risks and less than human, despite maintaining mostly complete consciousness aside from their occasional psychotic episodes. They're sent out as a front line for supplies or expeditions since they cannot be turned further, and explaining the notable bites and bandages on her. They are marked by brightly painted yellow circles for fellow survivors to differentiate them before they are mistakenly killed. Echo continues to wear the orange jacket she had at the initial outbreak. She also pierced her ear and styles her hair in a similar way to Alexi in a way to memorialize him. She has sleeping difficulties, blaming herself for sleeping during her shift and not being there to help Alexi in the initial surge at the start of the outbreak, which is why I tried to give her kind of these eye bags, kind of tired look. But that's all I got for Echo. Next up, we've got Kanara. For Kanara, I wanted to keep some reference to her red wings, which aren't pictured in the references here, but she is supposed to have red cardinal wings. So she's a trainer in the Hoenn region, and chose Torchic as her starter Pokemon. She has a preference for flying and fighting types, and I made this choice based on her being an avian and assassin in her actual story, so Torchic seemed like the perfect starter. She later catches a Tailo, which eventually evolves to a Swellow, and a Swablu. She wears a pair of bright red feathers behind her ear from an unknown Pokemon she encountered when she was very young. She hasn't seen one like it since, and searches for it throughout her Pokemon journey, since the awe of seeing it back then was one of the reasons she pursued this career in the first place. The guards on her forearms are those gauntlets that falcon trainers wear, since with the number of bird Pokemon she has, she needs to protect her arms if they're going to perch there with their talons. And for the drawing, I was originally going to have her drawn with Blaziken, but I quickly realized after a couple attempts that I cannot draw Blaziken at all. So unfortunately I had to devolve him real quick, but other than that, that's the last character complete. And now it's time to show them all to Canary and see what they think. I also did your persona first. I did Minecraft for your first one, or Minecraft Origins, but then it ended up kind of straying from the Origins part. So I was like, you know what?
Dude, that's so cool though. Dude, that's so cool though. The tail. Oh my gosh, the tail.
Yeah, I like the tail look, but I also had lore for all of your drawings, but I had nothing for the tail because I just kind of wanted to make put in the tail for funsies.
Oh my. Okay. I love that so much.
Okay. This one is I forgot to tell you. I chose different AUs.
You were indecisive one and two. You were indecisive.
We just mentioned that like 5 seconds ago. In my defense.
So cool though. The eye.
Yeah. So this one is like a mix of her actual universe because it has zombies, but then Apocalypse.
That's so cool. Like I think I might actually change my design to be more like this one because I really do like this.
Yo, let's go. I like her lore the best. Okay, your last one. I have less lore for this one, but it was fun. This one
Pokemon.
Pokemon! I love Pokemon!
Torchic is such a good Pokemon. Oh my god. Thank you so much. I love it so much.
Anyways, that sums up my part. This was easily the longest thing I've ever made, but it was good practice since I want to yap more. Make sure to check out Canary's part if you want to see how they drew Koi, Heli, and Lilac in a zombie apocalypse AU, and thanks for watching.